Okay, what's this first shape called? Talked about it last class. What are the ends? What kind of shapes are the ends? Triangles. And then what do we call the three-dimensional ones? There was a word that began with P, prisms, triangular prisms. Okay. So how do we find the surface area of this? Well, there's really no formula. Okay. Remember, to find the surface area, you have to find all the faces. How many faces are there in a triangular prism if you look at this shape? How many faces could you see if you looked at it from all different angles? Oh, you're killing me. Good, 5. One triangle, 2 triangles, and then 1, 2, 3 rectangles. Okay? So the general formula would be the surface area of the 2 triangles. And how do I find the area of the triangle? What's the formula? Remember a triangle? Base times height divided by 2. But there's 2 of them, right? Same size and shape. So I'm going to multiply by 2. Right. And then plus the 3 rectangular faces. Now you got to be careful with this because sometimes the 3 rectangles will all be the same. Sometimes only 2 of them will be the same. Sometimes all 3 will be different. It depends on what the triangular prism looks like. Okay, but we'll see some examples. What do we call this thing? Cylinder. Okay. All right, so how do we find the surface area of this? Well, which shapes are the ends? Circles. How do you find the area of a circle? Oh, brother. Oh, brother. And since there's 2 of them, we times by 2. Bless you. Really? Area of a circle? Pi r squared. I know. It's Tuesday morning. Still morning. I get it. And there's 2 of them, so we times 2. But then there's a shape, or there's a face in the middle. How do we find the area of that face? Well, if you took a cylinder, we know how to find the area of the ends. So assume there's a couple of circles on the ends here. If I were to slice this and open it up, what kind of shape do I get? Rectangle. A rectangle. So this is actually a rectangle. What's the length of the rectangle? It's the circumference of the circle. So that's the circumference. And how do you find circumference? 2 pi r. That's the length. Whoops. Jumped ahead of myself there. 2 pi r times the height, because the rectangle is length times width. This is the length. That's the width. And then we add all those faces together. So that's a formula you will always get. Okay? So this represents the end circles. And this represents, we'll just call it the middle. So remembering those formulas, let's do some examples. First case, what kind of shape do we have? Triangular prism. Okay. And you see all the dimensions that you're given there. How would you find the area of the triangle on the end? What are the numbers? 10 times 13?
12.
12. Remember, height means vertical. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm super. And how many of those triangles are there? So times 2. So that takes care of the front and back. Here's a rectangle. What's its length and width? Right. Is there another rectangle in this shape that has the same length and width? Yes, this one that you can't see. So to find the area of this rectangle, we would go 14 times 13. And since there's 2 of them, we times 2. But what about the bottom one? What's the bottom one? Here, I'll try and draw it in 3 dimensions here. So this one on the bottom, what's its length and width? 14 and 10. Right? 14 and 10. It's different. So you got to be careful. So, and there's just one of those. So 14 times 10. And then we add all those spaces together. Mathematicians are lazy. They're always looking for shortcuts. Notice anything I can do to make my life easier here? Anything? What happens to the 2's?
They cancel each other out.
Yeah, because it's times 2 divided 2, so they cancel each other out. So I'm left with 10 times 12, which is 2 times 14 times 13. 14 times 14 is 196 minus a 14, 182, 364. Is that right? And then 14 times 10 is 140. And then we add all those up, so we get 265, 24. Is that right?
Where'd you get 260?
Oh, I just added these 2 first.
Yep.
Huh?
It's a lot. 265 plus
260 plus.
anything wrong.
Is it 524?
It's 64.
Oops. I'm doing this in my head.
That's
Yes.
units.
Units.
Where?
Yes. See?
Girl in grade 10 names me.
Yeah, sure, why not? Let's just talk about something completely different. Yes, I do. Now what do we talk about? You have no filter. It's just like whatever comes to my head, I'm just gonna say it. Okay, this one, cylinder. Well, let's just write the formula. 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. And then fill in what we know. So 2 times pi times what's the radius?
6.
6, so 6 squared plus 2 times pi times 6 again times the height, which is, what's the height? 8. And now we got to do that. Well, exponents first, right? So this is 2 times pi times 36. I can multiply all the numbers here. What's 2 times 6 times 8? Yeah, 48 times 2.
96.
96. And we still have the times pi. Notice I haven't used the pi button yet. 2 times 36, well, that's the same as 72 times pi. Plus 100, plus 96 pi. You can use a calculator here, but I could keep going. If I got 72 pi's and I add 96 pi's, that's the same as 168 pi's. And remember, in the first unit, we talked about leaving your answer in terms of pi. If you left it like this is right. You don't necessarily have to, because it doesn't say to round it to anything. So if you stop there and did that, I would accept that. Or we could actually go ahead and times 168 by pi, the pi key, or 3.14, and we get an answer of approximately 1 or 2 decimal places, doesn't matter. Somebody want to give it to me? Anybody?
527.9.
570.9? Oh, 527.9. Yes?
Yeah.
The second person? You're just saying yes. Okay. This next one, this is a composite shape because it's actually made up of, if you slice it like this, a triangular prism up top and a rectangular prism on the bottom. So how can we go about finding the surface area of this? Well, all the different faces, right? So what about this one up top, this rectangle? This is 10 by what? 3. So 10 times 3. That takes care of this one. How about this one?
3.
4 times 3. How about the one on the bottom? 8 times 3. 8 times 3. How about the one this way? 10 times 3. Notice I did all the rectangles first and saved this one for last. How would you find the area of that? 4 times 8? That would get these two, right? Or that would get this section, wouldn't it? and the back section. So yeah, we could do 4 times 8 times 2 of them. And now all we're left with is this. And there's one on the back too. 8 times, now what's this? 6, excellent. Because it's 10 minus 4. So it would be plus 8 times 6 divide 2. But there's 2 of them front and back, so I have to times 2. And then the times 2 divide 2 cancel each other out. So I just have to find all these values. 10 times 3, 30 plus 12 plus 24 plus 30 plus 64 plus 48. Press it. And then we have to add all these together. 42, 66, 96, 160, 208.
Yes.
And don't forget the units, centimeters, squared. Okay, so the composite solids do take a little bit longer. Finally, this one. We've got a 2-tier cake made up of 2 cylinders. Okay? And we're going to cover it in frosting. The question is, how much frosting do we use? Now, let's assume, I know this doesn't make much sense, but let's assume that we frost the bottom too. Okay? Even though we probably wouldn't do that. And I have this argument with students every year. Well, why would you put frosting between the 2 layers? Why wouldn't you put like some other kind of thing in there? Yes, we could. But let's just put frosting. It's not a very exciting cake. But what? Somebody said something? What's that? It can be whatever you want. Chocolate? Why? Because you don't eat pie? You don't even know what a pie looks like? Okay. All right, well then let's assume that, I don't know. Okay, you're covering an ice cream cake in frosting. You have to do it really fast before it melts. Okay. It does not have to be yellow. It can be any color you want. Jeez. So happy you guys are focused on the right stuff. Let's talk about cakes for a moment. And then, throw in another item of food that has nothing to do with this. Like this doesn't even remotely look like a pie. What? Why? You need to let it go. Ava, let it go. Yes, you definitely have to do that. So here's what I would suggest we do in this case, if we have to frost the whole thing, including the bottom. Pull them apart. Okay? So we're going to have 2 cylinders. We'll call this number 1, number 2. I'm going to find the surface area of the first cylinder. Remember the formula? 2 pi r squared. So 2 times pi times, which is, careful, 7. Plus 2 times pi times r, which is 7, times the height of that top layer, which is 5. So we get 2 times pi times 49. We got to square first. I can do 2 times 7 times 5 all together to get 70 times pi. So this 2 times 5 times 49 is 98 times 5 plus 75. Notice I still haven't used the pi key yet, or 3.14. I can add these together, because if I've got 98 pi's and I add 70 pi's, I've got 98 plus 70 pi's, or 168. Now I can use my calculator. 1 decimal place will be fine. Anybody?
577.8.
577.8, 527.8 centimeters squared. Okay, so that's the top layer.
The thing is ice cream. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah, good thing.
It could be hard to. I like, it could be. I think it takes less time. Yeah. It could be cookie jet. It could be cookie spring.
That's so bad. Okay, somebody tell me what to write for the second layer.
2.
2.
Or pi squared.
No. 2 pi
R. 13.
13 squared plus
That's all. 2.
2
5.
pi
13.
13.
5. 1. Oh, that's like a lot. I think it was like 16 to 8. Yes. No, they did nothing. 169.
2 times 13 times 5.
130. 135.
8 times 5 when I multiply those two numbers, plus 130 times 5. And if I add those pi's together, I get 400, ooh, 468 pi's, which is about, let's go 1 decimal place again.
Times 1400. Okay. 14. 17. 17. Wait.
7?
0.3.
0.3. Okay, those are the 2 tiers. Those are the 2 layers. So to find the total surface area, we add them to the TFA.
Like the airport.
Yes. 527.8 plus 1,417.3. Now, just that, and then we're done. Why? Well, we are.
Oh,
When we put the two layers together, in between disappears. Right? Like they won't get frosted. So right here, the bottom of this layer won't get frosted. Hang on. The top of this layer also won't get frosted. So two circles disappear, right? When we put it back together. So what's the radius of this circle?
7.
7. So I have to subtract 2 pi times 7 squared. Because this is the overlap. When we put those two cylinders back together, the two circles inside are not part of the surface area. So, what would we get? Let's just get the answer here. So this is 49. So let's do 2 times 5 times 49. And then give me the answer to one decimal place. Somebody do it, please. 2 times pi times 49. Yeah.
It's 307.
307.8 or 9.
I know, but it's from
So it's 307.8. What's the next one? 30.
It's 307.87.
So yeah, 30. Then it would be 0.1. You guys might have done it different. Did you use the pi key or did you use 3.14?
I used my key.
Okay, that's weird.
I did have error, so.
Good story. Okay, let me try this. 2 times, where's my pi key? Times pi times 49. Yeah, 307.876. So it'd be, yeah, 307.9. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so add those two and subtract to get a final answer of something, 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 0.2. Everybody got it?
1,637.2.
1,637.2. 70 squared. Yeah. Yeah, these can get a little lengthy. Okay. But I would suggest that when you get shapes that look like this, find the surface areas separately, put them back together and subtract what faces disappear. Okay? Okay.